press the bell icon on the YouTube app and never miss another update.
India celebrated its 16th Republic Day with a military parade attended by leaders from 10 Southeast Asian nations. It's the first time that many foreign leaders have attended the event. They're being hosted by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. The day marks the adoption of the Indian Constitution in 1950. Nearly 60,000 security personnel were deployed in New Delhi for the parade. Well, Modi's decision to invite leaders from all 10 Southeast Asian nations that make up the Asean group is being seen as a bold move to try to isolate China. As part of its Act East strategy, New Delhi is hoping to strengthen political and economic ties with Southeast Asian nations. Currently, India trails behind China in trade with ASEAN. In the last 2 years, China's trade with Southeast Asia was more than 6 times that of India. India has just signed a maritime agreement with ASEAN nations. That's in response to recent moves by China. Beijing has been giving economic aid for infrastructure development under its One Belt, One Road initiative that aims to create a giant economic zone connecting Asia and Europe. Let's get a view now from Uday Bhaskar, who's the Director of Society for Policy Studies. He's a retired Commodore with the Indian Navy and joins us now live via Skype from New Delhi. Good to have you with us, sir. So, Prime Minister Modi has been implementing this Act East Asia policy, which involves reaching out to Southeast Asian states. I mean, is he actively trying to counter China's influence in Southeast Asia? And if so, why?
Well, more than counter, Adrian, I would say that he is trying to impart a certain amount of content into India's relationship with the 10 ASEAN countries across the economic, trade, connectivity, and the military dimensions. Now, it would not be possible for India to really counter China in the trade and economic domain because, as you pointed out, China has a dependency amongst the 10 ASEAN countries, which is very, very significant. Some of these countries are indebted to China. But what India can do is perhaps to bring a certain amount of complementarity and offer an alternate option to these countries. And that, I think, has been the primary focus of Prime Minister Modi, both when he addressed the ASEAN summit in Manila last year and at the ASEAN-India summit, which took place yesterday in New Delhi.
So does India now see China as its main external threat and not Pakistan?
Well, more than threat, I would say definitely as a challenge, because China is making inroads into South Asia in a very visible manner, particularly as far as the maritime domain is concerned and as part of the Belt Road Initiative. Today we have China's footprint in the entire South Asian region, which traditionally used to be India's domain, as it were, India's backyard. And I think India is conscious, but at the same time, the contradictory characteristic is that China is India's largest trading partner. And this is the kind of dilemma many countries have, whether it's Japan, the United States, or India. So I think ASEAN, which has a GDP of almost $2.5 trillion, offers an option for India, and that is how Prime Minister Modi has worked on the Act East policy. So in this particular visit, he's again emphasized connectivity, the trade patterns, and of course terrorism and India's own concern about the global challenge of terrorism.
Commodore, good to talk to you. Many thanks indeed for being with us.
Thank you.